All right, everyone. Welcome to Elkhart Rotary Club in the year 2021 to 2022. I'm excited to be here. Let's ring the bell. What would an Elkhart Rotary Club meeting be without starting off with a little technical difficulties? But you know who doesn't have any technical difficulties today? Is Shannon White, who's gonna come on up here and talk to us.
I was planning to tell you a story of an experience that my wife and I had a few years ago, but I changed my mind, and I'll do that next time. Oh, I know what you're saying. There may not be a next time. Yeah. Yeah, you are so right. You are so right. Let us be in an attitude of prayer. Let us just praise God today on this new Rotary year. God gives us love unconditionally. God gives us health freely. God gives us wisdom liberally. And God gives us joy abundantly. Amen. The pledge and the four-way test. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to
Shannon, thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And I realize my first meeting, I didn't even actually introduce myself. I'm Eric Garten, new and improved as of this morning, a whole new attitude on a Rotary year. And glad to bring Bill Reith up to the podium to introduce today's guests.
Thank you, Eric. Congratulations on your first day as president of this incredible club. We have a couple guests here. Dave Lehman, you've brought a guest, if you'd like to introduce them. I brought a guest, Mona Livingston. Mona, she's going to be sharing with us a little later. Mona. And on behalf of Candy Yoder, we have Bonnie Trumbull also at the same table. So welcome. You guys are in for a great meal. I don't know if you saw that new restaurant that opened in Elkhart over the weekend. It's called Karma. They serve you what you deserve.
Groans already. I love it. Welcome to both Layman's today. Welcome, Vonnie. Welcome, Mona. Glad to have you here at the Elkhart Rotary Club. And Bill, I noticed you you almost got as far away from the front of the room as you could. Bill Burton sitting back there at the very back table. It's nice to see you, Bill. And thanks again for all the good examples that you gave me in going into my Rotary year. I'm excited, and I'll be calling on you frequently. And Candy Yoder, I know this is being recorded. I'll be calling you too to figure out the stuff that Bill didn't figure out last year. All right, everybody. Does anyone have any announcements to make? This would be your time to come forward, make any announcements. And I see no one jumping to their feet. One of the things that you will be introduced to a little bit more, we talked at the board level, we're going to talk about providing volunteer opportunities as both an announcement that's up here from the podium, also written that we send out. We need our club members, need the opportunity to be engaged. And we've talked a little more about that, and we've gone back and forth over the years. We want to make sure that things are not overtly promotional for other organizations, but what we do want to support are our members and our member organizations here who have volunteer needs. And again, these are not fundraising plugs. These are not event plugs. These are volunteer opportunities. Now, they might be at events, and yes, we'll have to figure out how that goes. But one of the things that we've had more people asking for, especially young-minded members. Terry Rickle, do you like that? I think our upcoming international president, she used the phrase young-minded. And I really am going to try to embrace that a little more. And I would agree that all of us in this room would appreciate some more young-minded folks as a part of this club to join all of the young-minded folks that we have here in our room. So we have a great diversity among our membership, and we want to try to continue that. Okay, with no other announcements, just wanted to announce upcoming speakers. Next week, we'll have the Indiana Youth Institute. They've come in the past, some of you might remember. Tammy Silverman, their president and CEO, and Alicia Kilmavich, the VP of Data Analytics and Research. They are going to give us the kids count data from the previous year, and I'm sure many of you are interested in that. I am as well, and I look forward to seeing it on a recording or live if I can make it, as I will be out of town. And Todd Stone will be, our president-elect will be running the meeting next week. So thank you for that, Todd. And on July 26th, we're having Mike Keene. He's going to come and discuss the green building industry in South Bend. He does a lot. So some of you have probably seen Mike Keene or heard him speak. He's fascinating. He's really into that. And Mandy Lazenby, who I think is not here today, was able to get him to come talk to us. So I'm pretty excited to hear from him. That'll be on the 26th. Let's see. So a few weeks ago, maybe not even that long, seemed like longer, we gave away a bunch of money. Our donations committee gave over $25,000 to local not-for-profit partners. Among those, Crossroads United Way. And I would like to welcome Mona Livingston, who's here with Bill and joining us today to talk about their program and what our donation means to help support their program and how it's making our community an awesome place. So come on up, Mona.
Thank you. I hope you had a chance to just see the stuffed animal puppy.
Good Lord, we're into the program already. Yeah, I know.
So if you had a chance to look at the puppy and the set of books and other materials, you probably know what the grant was used for. But thank you for this opportunity to share about the importance of being ready to enter kindergarten. And you may probably think, how important is that? And I know I have one ally here, Dr. Thalheimer, who can tell you it is very, very important. Right now, only 50% of the children entering kindergarten are ready.
Oh,
But
crap.
these awful kiddos don't have the basic skills that are required to have a successful school year. And that is hard for those children. They are struggling to keep up with their peers for no fault of theirs. They probably didn't have an opportunity to experience enriched experiences where they could build these skills, where they could build relationship building skills with their peers, like taking turns, resolving arguments, sharing, following one-step instructions from a teacher. They lack basic literacy skills. They're unable to read or recognize their name. And that is hard for them. So they miss on this opportunity of not falling in love with learning because they are just struggling to survive and compete or play catch up with their peers. We want to change this at Crossroads United Way. And Page the Puppy is just one initiative.
Can't hear a word she's saying.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was talking to me through that. And Page the Puppy is just one initiative that focuses on providing access to families with high quality experiences. And they don't need to go out anywhere and buy any materials. Most of the materials are easily available in a common household. It comes with a set of 4 books where Paige, who is the main character, goes on adventures in town and develops these skills, meets new people, and is in different situations. Just basic things that a kindergartner would experience when they go to school that first year. Children have an opportunity to stuff Paige. So they build a dog, like a Build-A-Bear workshop. They get to name their own dog, make a wish. They get a birth certificate. We did this in Goshen last year, and 100% of the family said that this was beneficial. One mom even wrote to us and said,
Why they can't get the technology worked out in Manahorn, I do not know.
I was trying not to mute anybody. Now you're gonna get muted.
sorry for getting you in trouble. Said that this was going to be helpful for the daughter who has anxiety. And this was going to be a safety blanket, allowing their child to be confident entering kindergarten, because children build these puppies at their kindergarten open house and when they met with their teachers. Because of your generosity, 1,000 families entering Elkhart Community Schools in the school year 2021-2022 will have an opportunity to build the dog and have access to the books, materials, and all the resources that are going to be made available. These books highlight 10 important skills that are required for children to have to be successful in kindergarten. We do know that we have a lot of Spanish-speaking families in our communities, so all these books have been translated in Spanish as well. We want to take away any barrier that might come up for a family to have a good experience with their children and allow their children to build and develop these skills. The need is really high, and we appreciate every single dollar of the grant that you have given us. And I would encourage you to partner with us in this. I just heard you talk about volunteer opportunities. We have volunteering opportunities where you can work with the children in building these puppies. We have other volunteer opportunities where you can go into the classrooms and read to the children. So please use these opportunities if this is something that you feel passionate towards, helping our future leaders. What kind of an impact are you going to leave on our future leaders? How are you going to help them to be successful? And if you would like your name to be as one of the sponsors on all of these books, please feel free to reach out to Bill or myself. Woof, woof.
Thank you, Mona. That was great. And I'm really happy that we made this decision to ask our not-for-profit donation recipients to be able to come here and make these short presentations. And Mona, that was perfect. That was really great. You gave a nice overview. I'm going to make Andy co-host here so he can help with audio and otherwise. But no, that's great. And so each week for the next, I think, however many not-for-profits we had, I think we have maybe up to 2 that will present each time. So maybe taking, 7 to 10 minutes hearing from those not-for-profits so that we can learn how the support that we have all given throughout the year is going to be put to good use in the community. And I hope everyone is okay with that. It seems like a pretty good way to go. So thanks again to all those who gave. And also, looking ahead to this next year, we've got a budget and we've got a number to try to meet in order to give additional money next year. So with no further ado, except for this ado, We need more sergeants, by the way, and he'll make this plug too. Anthony, who's graciously helping out, recruiting sergeants. We need some more sergeant blood. So you don't have to be able to tell jokes. Bill, Anthony, you don't have to be able to tell jokes well, good ones anyway. You don't have to be able to tell good jokes to be a sergeant. It's fun. If you've ever seen my strategy is always to typically look online, find out what is maybe trending in the news or what special events are going on, and then call out some people for those. It takes a little bit of prep time, but not much, as many of you have seen. We can throw that together pretty quickly. So there you go. That's right. That's right. So all this money, it goes to our not-for-profit partners in the community. I've already talked with Bill, who's leading the donations committee, as is a tradition for the outgoing president. So he'll be doing that this next year, and we'll get that application out the first of the year in 2022. And not-for-profits, be ready to send that out, and let's make some more good in the community with the fun finds that we get here today.
Thank you, and to start in tradition, and for that lovely introduction, that'll be $5. Bill, appreciate your stepping up. I would have hoped that the technical details might have been cured under your watch, but so I'm not going to fine him on this one, but I'm going to fine you $3 just because. All right. Also, a great way to start to everyone. If you have been a previous donor to United Way and Crossroads, pitch in $1. I think that's great that we get to, over time, hear the stories of all the organizations that we continue to help here within Rotary. Normally, you'd say, you know, what happened to you this weekend? How are things? Mine's more recent than that. Anybody who was not in a building today where the fire alarm was being tested for at least an hour, pay $1. For those of you, I'm sorry, for those of you who are working in a school, that'll be $1. Whew. Maybe I'll get my buzz and my hearing back. So let's see, to a little bit of history. Lisa, you might know this one. 1804, the former United States Secretary of the Treasury, named whom died. You might know him. You might know him from an example of he was in a musical recently. Great. No, that's the answer. That's it. Stu, today is the birthday in 1817 of an American naturalist, pacifist, and poet. Do you know who that might be? Close, no. Everybody pay $1. It's Henry David Thoreau. Someone who said, rather than love, than money, than fame, give me truth. Right, David? Think that'd be a good one? Something we should use in our industry. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. Many men go fishing all their lives without knowing that is not the fish that they're after. Be not simply good, be good for something. Something we do here in Rotary. Goodness is the only investment that never fails. Henry David Thoreau. Todd, 1957, the U.S. Surgeon General Leroy Burney made a very outspoken statement in the day because he came out, what? '57, kind of the turning point on smoking. The first time a public connection was made between lung cancer and smoking. Everybody who didn't get that, pay it off. 1976. Richard Dawson hosts the start of, let's see, Susan Ginther, do you know? Correct. So no fine for everybody. Awesome. Good job. Dave, I picked on you earlier, kind of, but who would you know that this week, the #1 movies this week? I'm sorry, Dave Damrell. What was the #1 movie in this past weekend? No, Black Widow. Black Widow, everybody pay $1. $80 million, which is way down from what they've done before. And in fact, 60 million of that came from people buying the extra passes, Premium Plus. So we're still kind of in that transition back to normal and not normal. Speaking of which, those of you who are visiting us today in your Zoom call, that'll be an extra $1. So yesterday, during the finals match, I rode 10,000 meters. That's the equivalent to 6.2 miles, or the equivalent of rowing from roughly Elkhart Hospital to County Road 17. I say that because A, it hurt, B, because I'm glad that I'm at least at a part in my life when I can pull something off like that. And to all of you who enjoy trying to stay fit and healthy even as you get older, and actually as it becomes more important. Is there anybody here who has something they would like to crow about as well? Some good feat of fortune and completed a 5K, completed a 10K. Yes. Awesome. Yes. No, I was thinking more this year. This year. Well, okay, so I guess waking up, if that's the plateau we have to deal with, we'll go with that. Maybe by next time we can raise the bar just a little bit. So something to shoot for, no fine today. All right, so I will wrap things up. As I was doing some research, I came on WebMD. It says it's updating its server because it's a virus. It has a virus, but it could be a virus, but it also could be malaria, kidney failure, heart murmur, or possibly an appendicitis. And back in school, I remembered, since we just had the 4th of July, I wrote an essay about communism, but my teacher made me share it with the whole class, where we, of course, aired all our dirty linen. Thank you. Fantastic. That is what we're all about. See, I told you, you don't have to tell good jokes. All right. All right. I fiddled with the volume here. I realized I could turn it down, but everyone's still online. You can still hear us, correct? I assume. I don't take anything for granted on these newfangled computers. So Anthony, you rode 10K, and over how long a period of time? Under an hour. That's a pretty short hockey game. So, oh, first half of the NBA Finals. There you go. That's right. That's right. That's not too bad. I thought he was talking about a soccer match, in which I figured he would have ridden about 40 miles in a soccer match. Those things are too long. Okay. All right. We're going to attempt. And by the way, everyone online, and we're going to share screen here. We want to make sure everyone, as we're all about diversity, inclusion, all that good stuff here, we want to make sure that everyone at home is included in the ability to pay your fines. So let's share screen. See what happens. Share. There we go. And I am going to, let's see, let's go to the Google.
There we go. How about we look at our club's webpage? So there we are, elkhartrotary.org. And right up here at the top, and I'm sorry Jim Story is not here because he was the technical wizard who actually made this happen. Right up there under the Rotary wheel, the gear right there, you see homepage and then donate. So here's how many clicks it takes. So after you navigate to elkhartrotary.org, click on donate. You can select an amount. You can see that right here. And if you want to give more than 60, you can push other. And we'll just say $5. We'll click donate. And more importantly, we're going to see on recorded Zoom, this is all about danger of how much information has been saved on this computer that I may have entered at one point or another. And we click donate. Hey, look at that. So you get this nice donate screen. Nothing auto-filled. That's good news for today. You get the idea. You put your name, your last name, your email, the name on your card, all that good stuff, which is probably saved in your own home computer, and you can donate, and it's as easy as that. And the key to this is simple. Go for simple. You can do it once a month, donate your $25, whatever it is, 50 bucks, $5 on average per meeting, and we're all set. So that is how easy that can be. Donate online. All right. Heard we have an awesome speaker today, but then he canceled, so you're stuck with me. Yes. Yes. That will be another presentation. And I will absolutely be happy to share that with you quickly after the meeting, but I will warn you all, with the technology that's right here in front of us, having this at every single meeting, do expect to spend a little bit of time, even if it's just a minute or two, and I promise I'll rehearse these so it won't be poking around too much, but we'll actually be able to share how you do that online. That's a great question, Fran, so thank you. I will absolutely do that. So welcome to Rotary year 2021, 2022. By the way, for those of you who don't know how I got here, and it's probably sounding like a joke, and it really isn't, and most of you may have heard this by now, but I was in a Rotary board meeting, about 3.5, 4 years ago, and you were there, I remember. And the time was coming for there to be a new program chair. And someone said, hey, Eric, you know of some people. Maybe you should be program chair for this next year. And I said, well, that sounds like it could be a pretty cool thing to do. Well, I was so embarrassed to learn that program chair is also another name for vice president that I didn't say anything. And here I am. So sometimes you just feel so embarrassed inside that you bite the bullet and you do what you can. And then I was not only embarrassed that I said yes to something that I didn't know what it was, but more importantly, I think I'd been on the Rotary board for a couple years already and hadn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm telling you, it was that Perkins food is what it was. So it was not healthy for me. So anyway, there are many paths to leadership in Rotary. And now you know my secret of how that really happened. So true story. All right. And I'm all the more happy for it because it's gotten me to pay way more attention. All right. So this is our Serve to Change year. I wanted to start a little bit with just an orientation. And hold on, let me minimize this guy. We don't need this. There we go. Look at this technology in action. We can even move it up here to the corner. Perfect. Okay, so talking about the structure, we're working down to just a few ideas that I've got for this year. And nothing is ever set in stone in life. We all know that. But if we can have a framework, these are things that will help us to get through to the next level of what we're trying to do. So Shekhar Mehta, he's only the 4th Indian to be president of Rotary International in its 115-year history. He's a member of the Rotary Calcutta Mahanagar in West Bengal, India. He served as a district governor in 1999 to 2000, board of directors of Rotary International 2011 to 2013. And he encourages us to reinforce the core values of Rotary. There are now 7 of those. Anybody want to venture guesses on what some of those 7 are? Does anyone know the 7 core principles of Rotary? That is brand new, Terry Rickle, and you jumped right to the bottom of my list. I did not think this through. So let's go back up. You meant to say promoting peace. So promoting peace is first. It's not first, it just happens to be first on my list. Fighting disease. What else have we got? Providing clean water. Saving mothers and children. I hope that's on there, Stu, for your sake of saying literacy. Supporting education. I'm going for that. And thank you, Crossroads United Way, for helping us to do that in our community. Growing local economies. And now, Terry Rickle, new in 2021, as of July 1st, the 7th Rotary core value, protecting the environment. So all of these seemed like really great things. And you know, all these things about pathways to leadership and sometimes ending up in a place you didn't expect. I love looking back at these and thinking about Wellfield, something that's very near and dear to my heart. And thinking about all of the core values that were thought of by the visionary folks in this club, including Bob Schultz, who came up with Wellfield, that addresses so many of these pieces. And I can assuredly say to you that all of the not-for-profits that we support in some way, shape, or form help us with these 7 core values. So that was a really cool thing to see these all in one place. Think about what we're doing in our community and how we're helping the greater Rotary core values. Shekhar is actually an accountant. He's chair of the Skyline Group, a real estate development company that he founded. He's the director of Operation Eyesight Universal, Canada-based, interestingly enough. Actively involved in disaster response. He's actually a trustee of Shelterbox. Some of you know Shelterbox. That's one of Rotary's partners, and they do disaster relief all across the world. Shekhar himself actually was one who, after the 2004 Indian tsunami, helped to rebuild a bunch of homes in that area. And his wife, her name is Rashi. She's a social worker and a stage artist. And I looked into that a little bit more. She actually is it almost verges on activism in terms of what she does in the community as far as her stage performances. Only associates herself with things that really make a statement and that help the community. So this was Shekhar's path. And I have a feeling that he probably didn't just say yes, not knowing what he was saying yes to. It seemed more like a pathway that was well thought through. So good for him. I hope at one point maybe I'll get to meet him or at least say hello to him online. That's one nice thing about the pandemic. It's gotten us to get closer to some of our Rotary friends around the world. So every year, the president of Rotary, they actually indicate some initiatives. And Shekhar himself, with I'm sure some marketing support from Rotary International, created our theme for this year, the 21-22 year, that is serve to change lives. And of course, that is what is on our flag right over there that is hung up. And I think got hung up a week too early during Bill's last meeting. And Bill pointed to it, and I was kind of surprised to see it up there, but that was good for whoever was previewing this year. So Shekhar has charged his district governors with 3 presidential initiatives, and he calls them change maker governors. I really like that. So it's about being the change that you want to see. But each one bring one. So that one's pretty self-explanatory, talking about every person should be bringing somebody to Rotary throughout the year, and they're really trying to boost membership around the world. I think that's going to be a tough year to do that. I certainly think it is in the United States, and we've got so many people changing jobs, changing priorities in life. But I really commend Rotary for taking this on. That'll be a tough one. I have a couple different thoughts about that, how that applies to us. Rotary Days of Service. So those are coming up in September. We'll have more information about that and trying to partner with some other clubs. As I mentioned earlier, one of the key findings that Rotary research has led to is involving new members. What they've discovered, new members, two main things. And I bet Terry could name both of these, Terry Rickle. One of them is about being a part of something. It's the social aspect. So that folks want to be engaged. The other one is opportunities for service. And so especially, and I'd say with many of those young thinkers that we talked about earlier, regardless of what point in your life you get involved with Rotary, they want to be able to do stuff. That's the technical aspect, do stuff. I'm so happy now that our Elkhart Rotary Club has, of course, 2 divisions. Anybody here from primarily morning division? Maybe not. Maybe hopefully someone online. Bob Gerard, he's gonna, I know, join us from time to time and we'll give some updates on the morning division. That's one of the key things that they do is they do service projects. And we'll be offering those up to, of course, noon division and all Elkhart Rotary members so that you can go do those things. Anybody participate or go out and help at Boot Lake? They rebuilt a platform. Thank you, Terry. That's right. You were there. We pulled some weeds. I went and took some pictures and then left promptly because I didn't want to get my hands dirty. And here we are. So Rotary Days of Service. So focusing a little bit more on those internationally and empowering girls. It was something that there's more explanation on all of these online if you want to check it out. But effectively, especially some of the underdeveloped countries and obviously even here in the United States and developed countries, making sure that diversity and inclusion and making sure that there's equality is super, super important. And it's just one of those things that's going to make our world a better place. And obviously getting involved with organizations that help to empower girls is something that Rotary International is behind this year. So kind of taking that from the international level down to our own district, 6540, Jane Rouse. She is our district governor this year, and she's been a member of the Albion Rotary Club since 2006. She was their president a few years ago. She was the district administrative council and also an assistant governor, something that Terry Rickle, Scott Puckett. Are you still an assistant governor? Last year. Who else has been, anybody else in here been an assistant governor? Stu, excellent, very good. She served, she's got a marketing background. So it's interesting, a lot of the materials, and she's coming in the month of August. It is actually August. Sorry, I can't remember ahead of time. She's going to come and be our speaker for one of those days to talk more about this. I wanted to just give you a little more of a preview of her. States she's got a lot of opportunities that she's had professionally. That should be starting out with Procter & Gamble in sales. She's executive director of the Kendallville Chamber of Commerce and also as executive director of the Parkview Noble Hospital Foundation when that organization was founded. So Jane, taking from those bigger level initiatives, brought some of her own to the district, and she added for her theme, in addition to each one bring one, sustain one. And the way she describes that is making Rotary meaningful. And I think that no one in here, I would hope, would disagree with that this has got to be something, especially now, with what has happened in the last 18 months, 24 months with the pandemic, thinking about everyone's priorities in life. There are a lot of folks, and we're not the only club that has suffered from this, certainly, with a few folks just making changes and we lose them. But at the same time, I also think there's a lot of folks who will go the other direction and say, I want to do something meaningful. So I want the social interaction, I want that community, and I want to do service. So those are ways that we'll be able to continue to recruit folks in. And I like that approach that she has of sustain one. So making sure that not only are we adding people, you've got to make it worth their while. It's got to be something that's meaningful for them. She focusing on Rotary Days of Service. There's those September dates, 10 to 25. like to focus on the environment a little bit. So you'll see some opportunities from the district and other clubs around, and whether or not our club is actively participating in one, we'll make sure that we share those opportunities. There's things that are going on that are within a short drive of here that you can always be a part of. And at the district conference, which by the way, next year in 2022, in May, the district conference is going to be at South Bend at Notre Dame. And I went a couple years ago when it was there. It was a great, obviously it was very convenient for us to be close. I hope we can get a few folks from our club to attend at least some of those sessions over there. It's a great way to get involved. Empowering girls. Jane had mentioned they're going to create a district education program. So more of those things that we'll share. And this is all great sort of on your own type learning. There'll be some, I'm sure, some webinars and different things online. Supporting Girl Scouts, Girls on the Run, or STEM mentors in the region. So you're all familiar with Girls on the Run, I'm sure. I know that they had given a presentation to us a couple years ago. The Girl Scouts as well. Probably many of you have been involved with Girl Scouts, if nothing, having eaten their cookies. So continue to make sure and eat Girl Scout cookies. And growing our district's annual fund giving by 10%. That's one of Jane's goals. So what's that mean for us in terms of Elkhart? And I tried to frame this in a way that was more of a challenge to our club. So to you, bring a friend to a meeting, bring a colleague from work, bring someone that you've met through businesses, bring them to the club, get them here, get them to have a great lunch, introduce them to a bunch of fun folks, get a little exposure through that for our club. It's a great way. And like I always think of at Wellfield, it's just a matter sometimes of getting them in. And once they're in, we know that we have a product that they would like to be a part of. We have something for everyone, just got to get them here. And that's as easy as offering to buy somebody a $10 lunch. That is as easy as that can be. So bring a friend. Participate in 2 service projects this year. So there's my challenge to you, 2 service projects. And I'm not counting my going and taking photos at Boot Lake as part of my service project. Marketing is important, right, Aaron? But not necessarily worthy of counting it. I was there and gone. I posed everyone in the parking lot, had someone grab a plant, had someone grab a tool, took a picture, I was out of there. So participating in 2 service projects, and we'll communicate regularly with those in charge of doing service projects to make sure we get the word out. Get involved with a program that empowers girls. So again, buy those Girl Scout cookies. Contribute to organizations who do, if you don't want to do active service yourself, or get involved, volunteer. And I'd always welcome opportunities and thoughts you have on what we can do in terms of helping organizations that empower girls. Contribute to the annual fund, all of us. Let's try by the end of the year. And to your point, Fran, we're going to show you how easy it can be to set yourself up and just have it come out of your checking account, right off your debit card every month. I love it because I don't even notice it. And I give a very modest amount, but it's, which probably is why I don't notice it too much. Maybe I should notice it a little more, but it's easy and I don't have to do anything. And I imagine that once my card expires, and now the expiration dates on those cards, beware, everything's so far out. You'll be donating, but make sure you go in and review that once in a while. So those are my challenges to all of us in this club. So bring in a friend, participate in 2 service projects between now and the end of June next year, get involved with a program, or help us to get involved with a program from the Elkhart Rotary Club and contribute to the annual fund. Leading to that, I thought long and hard last night and this morning about what my related theme and mantra for this Rotary year would be. And again, not wanting to recreate the wheel that Shekhar had made in terms of serve to change. I liked the idea of connecting and serving. I think for us, especially in 2020, I know I'm not alone when I feel like I lost connection with humans, other organizations, business associates, friends from even far off. I mean, maybe you did a little bit more online, but we all lost some connections. I think this year is an important time for us to reconnect. And I know that there's so many good communicators in this room. I vow to be a better communicator. It's something that I have not done as well as I would like to do. I haven't done it as well in my own organization from my own executive director job. And it's something that I want to work on for that and for the Elkhart Rotary Club of this upcoming year. So each meeting will have something about connecting. So other ways to communicate. We've got to be able to communicate if we want to address problems. Any challenge we meet can be addressed, but it's got to start out with a connection. So we've got to be able to make that connection with others in order to communicate. You have to have a strong foundation in order to be able to solve a problem. And then obviously serving to change lives. So connect and serve. You'll hear me at every meeting, I hope. And if you don't, a special prize to you. If you come forward and say, Eric, you didn't say connect and serve, and I will have that prize at the ready. So how can you connect? This is nothing new to you, and many of you are preaching to the choir in here. You're here, and even those online, thank you for joining us. You're engaged today. You might be asleep, but you started out engaged. So attend meetings, right? We're back to this first day. I was very happy to be able to say that my name is Eric Garden. When I forget, you can just point to it right there, Tom. You can just say that. Be intentional about meeting and greeting. One of the things, the disruption from 2020 and even earlier this year, it caused us, we sort of got out of habits, which is probably a good thing. So when we're coming back for dinner, for lunch, sit in a different spot, be intentional about meeting someone new. There's another challenge, just meet somebody or someone you haven't talked to a long time or someone you've forgotten who their names are. Go reintroduce yourself and make sure you see them in advance as you're walking toward them now that they've got their badge on, and then you don't have to ask them what their name is. Little tricks of the trade here, I'll tell you. Participate in a committee. We're going to get our committee structure back. And complete honesty, I wanted to have this done by today. I didn't. The board, I've been talking to the board about this, and I didn't get it done. It will come. We'll get it back. If you're a board chairperson, a board participant, I've got some old lists. We're going to be sending that out. Look for emails. Try not to inundate you too much, but let's get you involved in a committee. And I thank all of those folks who've stepped up to either continue or have volunteered at maybe under a little duress to help out with some of those committees. We really need your help. Volunteer for Service Project, as we discussed. Great way to engage. You know what I didn't put on here, Pete? I didn't mention, and I'll add this for the record. Go to a third Thursday, Thirsty Thursdays. That's, as Pete has always said, he's told us this a few times, and I believe it's true. You learn more about someone in 10 to 15 minutes there than you might learn from months of meetings here, because we just don't have sometimes that time to engage. So thank you, Pete, for continuing to do that. Third Thursday, right? Third Thursday, Thirsty Third Thursday at Artisan. And their address doesn't have number 3 in it, does it? Doesn't matter. That's right. Thirsty Third Thursdays. Provide feedback. I've got a form that I drafted up to help us with this. And one of the things that I'll send out once in a while is just a link. We'll get it on the website. Try to create this all-in-one form that is easier, apparently, than drafting an email or sending it. And believe me, when you can click or point and click and be able to put, this is who I am, this is what I'm interested in doing. I tried to make this for both members of the club and those in the community who want to give us ideas. Or if you want to report volunteer hours, you'll see the form, but we'll work on it. But what I want it to be is something that no matter what you want to ask, comment, suggest on, you can click on that link and it comes right to me. And then if it's needing to go somewhere else, I can forward that email. But the great thing is it all comes right to us and we can get that data. That's where that communication piece comes in again. It's that connecting. We want to make sure that you're heard. And we want to make sure that when we get feedback, we know that it's coming from maybe, how many times have you heard this? I gestured to Bob and then I went another direction. But A bunch of people said. Everyone says. You've all heard that, right? My staff has gotten to hate this because I'll say, who said? How many? And they know that now. And so they don't come with little things. They come with things that have got some meat behind it. And if it is you and it's a valid thing, that's great, but just say so. Tell me why, tell me what we need to do, and we can make changes. So of all the past presidents and district governors that I've heard presentations from, one of the things they say to do is poll your club. Make sure you're getting feedback from folks, even if it's something really simple. Did you like my shirt? Does it look good on TV, Andy? I don't know. Does it go through on video all right? But poll your club. So expect to get those. Visit myrotary.org. This goes back to what we're going to do a little bit more at every meeting, something touching on this, even if it's only 90 seconds. Let's go look at the Rotary website. There are so many resources in there. Honestly, it's way too much. There's way too much information. Do not burden yourself with trying to figure out everything that's on there. It's way too much. It's serving an entire global population of Rotary members. But if you can sort of narrow in on the big subject areas, that's what we'll try to do here. And if nothing else, it's easy to rabbit hole yourself into finding different things. And share your experiences. So ways of connecting, sharing those experiences with others. Whether it's social media, whether it's telling a friend, hey, we heard a great presentation from Mona from Crossroads. I did not know about Paige the Puppy. Have you heard of this? Oh, no, I've never heard of Crossroads United Way. Oh, well, Crossroads United Way is a combination of how many United Ways? Three United Ways who actually merged together. So these are ways that you start those connections. Again, about connecting and serving. So we'll have more to come on all of those things about committees, about little ways that you can connect. I will provide those at meetings, and we don't want to make it a big part of the meeting. We don't want to make this always me standing up here and doing these. So I'll enlist some help of some other folks to help us with that. So my thanks to you again. And Bill did this. I loved it, Bill, when you had almost everyone in the club on their feet because they were either an executive committee member, a board member, a committee chair, or a member in this club who's participated or given a fine. You're all a part of our community. You're all what we do in this community to connect. And I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for working with me this year and having fun with me and the rest of the board and the executive committee and all those committee chairs to help make this a successful year. Thank you very, very much. And I always like to leave time at the end as we ask our speakers, are there any questions or ideas? And I will stop sharing my screen so I can see if anyone online has made any comments. Anything from anybody online? And you'll notice that we are taking attendance today, so I hope you put your name in the chat box right there. And if not, we'll try to make sure we get everyone listed here. Close that. More people than what we had before. Yes, sir. Ma'am, Susan Ginther. Love it. So Susan Ginther had a comment here and spoke about the experiences of doing the dresses for girls in Guatemala. Love it. And just a quick straw poll, folks. Should we do it? I think that was good. So hands up, who will help if they're able? There we go. A few less hands, but still quite a few hands. I love it. Good. So more on that. And we'll also I just wanted to announce we've got a visitor from the Goshen Noon Rotary, Teresa Cataldo. Thank you for joining us today virtually and invited by Judge Cristofino. So thanks, Mike, for inviting a friend. And right there, look at that. We're already getting participation. So thank you, Teresa, for joining us today from the Goshen Rotary. And yes, sir. I'm not sure. So whether or not Pete will be available to help with some dresses, this is perfect. So I can't sew either, Pete. There are other opportunities though, for sure, right? We can do other things. There's just helping get materials together. So thanks everybody for your attention. Thanks everyone for being an Elkhart Rotarian, and connect and serve into next week. Rotary's adjourned.